To our first esteemed speaker, a proud Cebuana, her philosophy: nature has already provided us with everything we need. We design according to how we were created in the first place. She got her early education from St. Teresa's College, Cebu. She graduated cum laude with a degree in architecture from the University of San Carlos. Keen on learning more, she took a tourism course held by the Department of Tourism. She graduated in 1984 and was awarded the most outstanding graduate. She also got a diploma in integrated conservation from the UNESCO Asian Academy of Heritage Management and pursued a master's degree in urban and regional planning at the University of the Philippines in Diliman. She is also active in preserving our heritage and receives much support from the government in her work as a heritage conservationist. In 2001, her efforts in conserving the historical architectural blueprint of Old Cebu were rewarded with a Cebu City Charter Award. In August 2007, she was named one of the 10 most outstanding Cebuanos in the field of architecture. She is a certified green building designer and indeed an outstanding APEC architect, sustainability consultant, and environmental planner. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause to architect Joy Onozawa.
Yeah, okay. So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the much awaited health and wellness lectures guiding you to a more comfortable way of living in your homes. The team has gone out of its way to reach out to all of you. Whether you're already living in a home or contemplating on buying a unit, these tips are going to be very useful for you. I want to thank Mr. Benny Cue, Aaron Cue of Golden Prince Hotel, Mr. President Felix Tagyam of the Cebu Chamber of Commerce, a very good friend, President Neil Montes Claros of Phoenix Cebu, and Mr. Neil Ko, who has organized all of these of Green Table. Really appreciate your efforts. And to Tara Tan, who is joining us today all the way from Sydney, Australia. A warm welcome to all of you. So I have been an architect and environment planner for the past 35 years. I was born into a green lifestyle with 10 siblings that grew our own food with accompanying daily chores of tending to chickens and watering vegetable gardens before going to school. When we got sick, my mom would always treat our colds, cough, and fevers with garlic or ginger brews and eat papaya and malunggay, often to boost our immune system, for example. She always reminded us that nature had already provided for everything we need. God gave man the intellect to find out what the uses of his creation were. Therefore, we must use these gifts of our environment. My children are brought up the same way, and I'm hoping this family tradition continues on for their children as well. So, my topic today is going to talk about green lifestyle design. There are many benefits to living a clean, green lifestyles, and these are usually evident in the orientation of your windows and door openings, arrangement and types of furnishings, kitchen amenities, all that lead you to live a routine of clean living, free of harmful chemicals. And you will be surprised at the simple solutions you will find. Next slide, please. Our design practice is integrative, connecting the interiors with the exteriors, harnessing the elements of our environment to our benefit. We believe that we cannot live without our environment. We are equal and connected to each other. We benefit from each other. So, our environment is composed of four basic elements: the land, the air, water, and man himself. That's us. We are all dependent on the air we breathe, to the waters that are filtered by the soil for us to drink, to all the animals, plants, and trees and fungi around us that feed our souls, as well as to our bodies. And most of all, we are connected to each other. And as much as we have the right and privilege to live a good life, we also have the responsibility to taking care of each other's beautiful existence as well. In this diagram, sustainability is at the center of all the interactions of these elements in our environment. Many mistakes in the past were made because man had put himself in the center of life, and the chain of sustainability was broken. Currently, we are now reaping the consequences of our past actions, and there is an urgent need to be equipped with more understanding of the earth. Thus, we join in the bandwagon in putting forth various initiatives into striving to live cleaner lives. This is what green lifestyles are all about, a lifestyle with nature as the most important partner in our daily routine. Next slide, please. So this talk will then be about the following interesting topics. We choose a location. This will inform you as to what to look out for when choosing to buy or rent a unit, as well as how to deal with your present situation. Good air quality. We all need to breathe good quality air in order to stay healthy. As we all know, most diseases are caused by pollution entering our bodies, and much of it is floating in the air that we breathe. Natural lighting and passive cooling. We live in a subtropical rainforest ecosystem in the Philippines, and we are blessed with a lot of sunshine and rainfall, resulting in a very, very rich biodiversity. Harnessing these elements to take advantage of the illumination of the sun and the natural resources and the natural sources of cooler temperatures will be the focus of this chapter. Then we go on to saving energy. Everyone wants to save on energy bills, and here tips on how to reduce energy costs while maximizing benefits will be discussed. Pest control and cleaning solutions. The humidity our ecosystem brings into our homes can many times be breeding grounds for pests. So here you will learn simple solutions to keep them away from your homes. And last, we will talk about waste management. So every day we eliminate waste into trash cans. There are ways to manage them so that they can be used further to our benefit. Next slide, please. So let's go into choosing a location. We all know that the sun rises from the east and sets in the west. Therefore, openings, meaning our doors and windows facing east and the west, will gain the most intense heat and will be the brightest as well, casting shadows into the interiors. These areas tend to be very hot and are not comfortable. Therefore, the bigger openings of our homes will be better oriented towards the north and the south directions so as to gain all day illumination without the glare and the comfort of having none of the heat gained in the interiors. If you already have your doors and windows facing the east and west directions, you will want to put sheer curtains to minimize the glare and the heat. This area is also good for placing potted plants. If your home has balconies, place small trees and plants in the areas directly hit by the sun, as these plants can absorb the heat, minimize its entry into the interiors, and make your homes cooler. Next slide, please. Most of the condominium buildings are situated beside the road, unless one is blessed to be located in a quiet neighborhood compound. Mounting vertical gardens is one solution, as the density of the leaves in the plants are able to absorb the sound rising from below. Choose plants and vines that have small, dense leaves. Constant trimming of these leaves makes them denser. So bamboo, on the other hand, has also been proven to be very effective in this regard. Another solution could be to place a water running feature near the window in the balcony. The sound of running water, like in a fountain, can easily drown the sounds of the streets. And of course, we can always invest in soundproofing acoustic curtains. These are special curtains that block off the sound. However, they also block off natural light, so they may best be used after the sun goes down. You may also install double curtains, and this can also help buffer the noise. Next slide, please. Indoor pollution air levels are most often 2 to 5 times higher than outdoor levels of pollution. This is mainly due to the air from the outside recirculating within before it exits outwards. So when air is not fresh, biological contaminants abound, like bacteria from the trash bins, molds from humid areas, virus from the air, pollen, chemical gases, and fine dust from the outdoors. They're all revolving inside our rooms. So many of our homes that use the AC, please note that the AC draws air from the outside, cooling it on the inside. However, hot air rises, and this needs to go out to the exteriors and to prevent the same air from circulating within. Therefore, to address this, you may want to leave a little opening on the windows when the AC is on, or place a screened small vent opening on the upper side of the wall. This also maintains the cool temperature of the room, thus the AC compressor need not work so hard, saving energy in the long term. Next slide, please. Let's talk about good air quality. The oxygen, the air that we breathe, to be in top quality to keep us healthy. In our environment, there are two sources of oxygen. 55% comes from the plankton that thrives in our waters, and 45% comes from the leaves of the trees and plants. Plankton thrives in bodies of water like the sea. We can hardly see them. They're also in our rivers and our lakes. Water pollution, however, kills this plankton. Thus, it is important to keep our waters clean in order for them to continually produce oxygen and for us to breathe. So, have you ever wondered why on a hot summer day we rush to the sea to cool ourselves? The sun is not able to heat the waters in the sea at all. And this is because our seas are thriving with plankton, and through photosynthesis, they produce cool oxygen for the fisheries in the water, as well as for all of us living on land. Oxygen purifies the air, therefore keeping us healthy at all times. It is a cold gas. The more oxygen you have, the cooler your home is. Plankton that thrives in fish bowls provide this much needed oxygen. Keep them in bright areas so they can photosynthesize. So when you want to make a fish bowl, make sure to have unchlorinated water, white rocks because that's where the algae will stick and this is food for the fish, plants that grow in water, and your favorite fish. You do not need electricity for this. Next slide, please. A number of scientific research has revealed that awesome properties of some plants to sequester pollutants from the air. Among them, formaldehyde, lead, carbon gas emissions, benzene, among others. Fortunately, 100% of these plants will grow in our climate, and they're very easy to access to. In fact, these plants have been so sought after during this pandemic, with everyone conscious about having clean, filtered air in their homes. The good news is that the moment you introduce these plants into your home, their pollution sequestration process starts immediately. Make sure to place them in bright areas as they also need the sun for photosynthesis. To name a few, we have the fiddle leaf fig, the areca palm or the palmera, the pothos plants, bamboo plants, of course, the Boston fern, the schefflera, the ones with the 8 leaves, peace lilies, and the many, many, many species of Sansevieria or the snake plant or the mother-in-law's tongue. By the way, the Sansevieria can thrive in shady areas, so it's nice to put them in the bathrooms so that the odors are taken care of. Different plants, though, sequester different pollutants. You can look into this more on intogreen.eu, grow your own fresh air. Please copy this website. It gives you a lot of information as it informs you about the sources of pollutants right in your own home. From detergents to dishwashing solutions, from the combustion of cars, and even chemically treated furniture cleaners. So next slide, please. Now let's go into natural lighting and passive cooling. Having a home that enjoys a cool, comfortable ambience as well as lots of natural light keeps us smiling all day. Psychologically, researchers advise that the more natural light comes into your home, the more positive your outlook is. So let's see how to bring this about. Okay, the natural trade winds or the prevailing breeze occurs in two ways. One is called amihan, and this is the cool northeast wind. It runs from October to May. And the other one is habagat, the humid southwest wind, June and September. Therefore, make sure the openings of your homes are in these directions, or at least in this quadrant, no? So you can enjoy the breeze all day, all year long. Passive cooling, the buildings and openings orientation, meaning your windows and your doors, dictates the course of keeping heat gain out. So our goal is to minimize solar gain and to maximize natural ventilation. Therefore, avoid large openings facing east and west, as these have maximum sun exposure, therefore gaining the most heat in your home. If your windows are facing east or west, consider having plants to buffer the heat gain, as these plants will absorb the heat instead. Mist the leaves of your plants indoors, often with water. Large windows and longer sides face northeast and southwest. These are the best locations or in that quadrant to catch the prevailing breeze and enjoy your home in comfort without the glare. So everyone, please keep a compass handy. Keep plants in the interiors as they give off oxygen. Oxygen gas is very cold, thus it cools our interiors as well. Next slide, please. If you have no choice, since your openings are already facing east and west or in this quadrant, there is another way you can offset heat gain. You can use operable blinds in angles in addition to your window, or simply use vertical or horizontal blinds in the interior. You can control these blinds when the sun shines directly on your windows. It would be a good idea to place plants with big foliage in these areas as they are able to catch all that heat, thus further cooling your home. To catch the breeze, even if your windows are not facing northwest or southeast, placing an awning, on top of your windows catches the breeze from below and sends it right into the interiors. These devices are called wind catchers and are ideal for homes whose windows do not face northeast and southwest. Likewise, if you can, it would be a good idea to place plants hanging from your window, as these plants provide you with so much cool oxygen while absorbing the heat from the sun. Next slide, please. There are other reasons why passive cooling is important, especially in humid environments such as ours in the Philippines. Passive cooling can minimize that muggy, sweaty feeling when humidity is high, especially during the summer months and the rainy months as well. Let's focus on bathrooms as oftentimes they have the highest humidity. So air circulation is important in keeping our bathrooms dry. It would be a good idea to leave a gap between the wall and the lavatory counter. Most of our counters now are stuck to the wall, and I would suggest that even a 1-inch gap will do. This not only minimizes maintenance work, as we do not have to deal with wet splashboards that get moldy when they're not wiped often, but it certainly helps circulate the air rapidly through this man-made vertical tunnel. Vents in cabinet shelves also prevent molds and keep items inside. Whatever you're storing, they keep them dry. Cut out a portion of the center of the shelf and replace it with a wire mesh that's strong enough to hold items, no? So air flows vertically up and down, thus keeping the contents of your cabinets dry. It would also be good if you have cabinet shutters to make them louvered, not solid. But many of our bathrooms now, I notice the shelves are quite open, no? So a special vent can be made in your interior walls for letting cooler air pass through from one room to another. This is for those with the AC. You can pass on cooler air from an air-conditioned room or simply air from a cooler area of the house into another room. Cool air is heavier than hot air. Therefore, to cool our homes, lower vents are more efficient. The good news is there is no need to use electrical vents for these. The air will just flow. Next slide, please. So let's all go to saving energy. Felix Tagyam has helped me a lot in this, and he's also somebody who teaches a lot about saving energy. So we all want to save on energy costs coming from our lights and our household appliances. These tips can help you bring down your electrical consumption. Having big windows and tall doors facing north and south to allow natural light to come in. As much as possible, have ceilings of at least 3 meters in height from floor to ceiling in order to catch a good amount of natural sunlight to light up your home. When this is not possible, paint the room with light colors or white in order to further lighten a room. Use LED lighting at all times. Also, ask for energy-saving lights when you purchase them. Use solar panels whenever possible. My house has a lot of solar panels through Felix. There are portable ones you can place by the window or in your balconies. You may want to check out the building if there are solar panels installed on the rooftop as well. In the near future, each one of us will be generating our own or at least some of our energy. The sun is still the greatest source of energy in this planet, so it makes sense to harness its benefits. Next slide, please. Always unplug outlets when not in use, like the TV, the aircon, toasters, flat iron, ovens. There is still power, and we commonly call this phantom power that draws in even when the appliance is not used. Doing so also prevents them from being affected by surges, by power surges, and of course, electrical fires. With one switch, attach only two lights at the maximum. Avoid too many lights per switch. Many times we do not need all the lights at one time. It is more efficient to switch on only the lights that we need. Use energy saving appliances. So when you buy appliances, always look for the blue Energy Star rating seal when you buy them. Read the instructions very carefully and ask the salesperson to explain how much electricity you will be using with the device and ask him to compute how much this will be on a daily or hourly basis. Staying informed of our electricity issues helps us to manage and conserve our energy at home. Use mirrors on walls to reflect natural light, thus amplifying a bright ambiance. Mirrors also make spaces look bigger, thus the added benefit of a spacious look, especially in small spaces. Next slide, please. So let's go to pest control. It is great to know that many of our edible plants also have an added benefit of warding off mosquitoes, cockroaches, termites, and flies. These are our common friends, right? These are our common pests we have at home. For flies, I guess the first thing we need to know is that they are especially attracted to ripened fruits and vegetables in the kitchen, but they will also breed in drains, garbage disposals, empty bottles and cans, trash containers, even our mops and cleaning rugs. So please don't keep wet rags under, just keep them hanging outside. All that is needed for their presence is a moist film of fermenting material, and it's usually wet. It would be a good idea to throw garbage as often as possible in a day to prevent the fermentation of rotten material in open cans, bottles, and to clean the rugs and maps after use. We can wash all our fruits and vegetables with a little baking soda and water. This deodorizes them. If we have enough bright light indoors, we can also grow lemongrass, basil, and rosemary as they both repel mosquitoes and flies. For our potted plants and herbs at home, grow cosmos and marigolds alongside the plants so they do not attract pests. They usually attract aphids, as it is very common in humid environments. Cosmos and marigolds are also edible flowers, so they can be eaten raw. They're actually very good in salads and they're quite nutty in taste. So to get rid of rats, first order of the day is to get rid of food crumbs lying around. Thus, it is not a good idea to eat in bedrooms or in areas where you watch TV or where you snack at your working desk. These are havens for rats. The kitchen, of course, needs to be wiped clean daily. If the rat infestation is bad, consider putting madre de cacao leaves. You can dry them also. You can use them dry or fresh. Onions, ginger, or garlic around the pantry. And among fruits, for example, as these are rat deterrents. Rats have a sense of smell 1,000 times stronger than humans, and they cannot stand the odor of this herb. So your kitchen, they will never go to your kitchen. Mint plants and mint oil also deter rats. You can boil mint leaves in vegetable oil, then let it steep without the fire for an hour before straining, and it's ready for use. Wipe garbage bins with it and the rat trails. For homes and gardens, you can put some thorny branches on the ground where they pass, as rats cannot walk on thorny ground, nor will the snakes also. Now, in my house, all around the fence, I have no control about the rats coming in from the other house. So all around my fence, I've cut up bougainvillea, and they really, really work. Next slide, please. Let's go to cleaning solutions. Cleaning our homes can be made simply by using materials we already have in the kitchen. There's no need to buy chemical cleaners, which otherwise cause chemical pollution in our homes, and also harmful odors detrimental to our health. So for cleaning wooden windows, anything that's wood, window, furniture, counter, baskets, make again with a mixture of chili. I use the sili labuyo. This is to prevent termites and wood borers. Olive oil, raw vinegar. I use the tuba, grated perla soap in a spray bottle. So you can just spray them as you clean. For added scents, you may want to add your favorite essential oil. I use rosemary for the living room. Wipe the surfaces and then later on buff with a dry cloth. You can do this only once a month. So the recipe for this is, you can write this down, is 1 piece crushed labuyo, 100 milliliters of vinegar, 200 ml of olive oil, and a half teaspoon of grated perla soap. You can drop also your essential oil for this. And for everyday cleaning, you just use a soft lint-free cloth to wipe down the wooden parts of your home. Do this recipe thing only once a month. So for getting rid of cockroaches, ants, and crawling insects, check out your drain covers first. All the drains in your house, in the bathroom, kitchens, or wherever they are. Most of the drains do not have screens in them. And these insects travel inside the pipes and into the holes of the drains, especially for those living in condominiums. The cockroaches from the other units can travel to yours. So you must put a screen mesh wire beneath them and close them back, no? So from time to time, maybe once a month, you may pour hot water and some baking soda and a little vinegar onto the drains to keep them pest free. For units that are rarely used, if you haven't used a bathroom for a long time, especially this pandemic, a lot of units are empty. Make sure you go there from time to time to pour hot water on your drains. Dry pipes make it easy for cockroaches to travel from unit to unit along these pipes. So keep them watered and in the P-trap, no? Another way to get rid of them is to use lower tips, the lower tips of cruciferous vegetables like cabbage, pechay, and lettuce. Just cut the lower tips, whip them in a blender with water and strain. Use that water to wipe clean your kitchen counters at night, and this deters cockroaches. They do not like to go where they can smell these vegetables. So for ants, again, they're attracted to food and their sense of smell is very strong. So keep food crumbs away from floors and counters and desks. You may also want to melt some cinnamon powder in warm water and wipe clean your surfaces with it. Or a diluted mixture of baking soda and water to clean all traces of food odors that these ants are attracted to. Next slide, please. For general household and bathroom maintenance, keep handy a spray bottle with the following recipe. So for every liter of water, just add 3 tablespoons of baking soda, 4 tablespoons of raw vinegar. You may also add your favorite essential oil into this if you like. So when you enter the bathroom, when you're trying to clean it, just spray the walls, the toilet bowl inside out, the lavatory, the mirrors, the glass panel, shower curtains, everything. And then with a dry cloth, wipe them down. That's all you need to do. This solution is very efficient on kitchen counters and on tiled floors in kitchens and white painted surfaces of your home. Sometimes drains and toilet bowls get clogged. An easy solution is to pour Epsom salts on them. Let it stay about an hour, then wash with warm water. For cleaning showers, faucets of kitchens and bathrooms, and your forks, knives, and spoons, use leftover calamansi or lemon or anything citrus and rub them directly on the metal parts and then wipe off to a shine. Next slide, please. So here, let's learn from the past. Our forefathers have taught us a valuable lesson. Have you noticed that antique cabinets or consoles are always designed on pegs? They don't have base.
Yes.
These designs serve as our inspirations for designing in humid places like the Philippines. Baseboards in a humid country attract cockroaches and flies and provide nesting places for maggots. Wooden baseboards also rot easily with moisture from the humid environment. And so it is not, we would never suggest this. So when you make your kitchens, now as we learned from the past, they will be pest-free when they are elevated from the ground without the use of baseboards. Instead, use pegs, raising them at least 8 inches. You can go up to 12 inches if you like from the floor level. This method also makes it easy to clean the floor beneath. As an added benefit, these raised cabinets also provide spaces for feet for people in wheelchairs. Next slide, please. Now let's go into termite management. I think a lot of people have this problem. I think one thing that may be difficult for us to accept is the realization that the termites are not the pests. We are the ones who are actually the pests because they were there ahead of us. No, they live in the ground, and then we dig on their habitat when we want to build houses. So we are the pests. Termites live under the ground, and land development disturbs their territory. Thus, they fight back. So we actually have to learn to live with them. Knowing how they come to our homes is one way of understanding how we can repel them. You will be surprised to know that the biggest contributor of termites into our homes are our shoes. The tracks in our shoes can carry dirt laden with termites. So we walk into the house, into our living rooms, into the kitchen, into our bedrooms, and then we start having termite problems. Many Asian countries practice leaving their shoes at the door, and then this is something we can also learn to do. So as soon as you arrive home, wipe your shoes. Coconut fiber doormats are the best cleaners of our souls, and these are readily available in the Philippines. Inside the house, wear house shoes or slippers and provide guests with them as well. After cleaning shoes, provide a drip station tray with gravel. Clean out this tray with vinegar from time to time to kill lingering pests. Keep your home as dry as possible. Air circulation is a must. Watch out. Look for areas that where the air circulation is not good. That's probably where the termites will build their nests. So keep them dry and well ventilated. Next slide, please. Avoid placing shoes in your clothes closet. This is one way of bringing termites too. Instead, provide airy shoe cabinets in the entrance of your home. Clean your shoes before storing them. The entrance of the house is also a good place to have your sanitizing corner where you can have alcohol, towelettes, wet ones, and a place to store your masks and face shields. If you have the space, you can have mud rooms constructed complete with lavatories, wash areas, and shoe cabinets in this room. Mud rooms are usually located at the entrance of the house. This room can also serve as your sanitizing room with sanitizers and a place to store your masks and face shields and your PPEs as well. Next slide, please. Now let's talk about waste management. Let's focus on the kitchen as this is probably where most of the waste is discarded. You'll be surprised to know that it is healthier not to have any garbage bins in your kitchen. Please do not provide big garbage cans under your sink or anywhere. This is not a good idea as bacteria easily flies out unseen and infects the air radius within 5 to 8 meters around. Nearby, you will have your dining table or breakfast nook, and without knowing it, the air we breathe is already full of pathogens. Each time you open the trash bin, pollutants fly out and drift into the air inside our homes, inside our dining rooms. So pathogens and decaying matter pollute indoor air quality. And if your kitchen is even air conditioned and you have a bin, problem is even worse. So please do not put garbage bins in your kitchen. When cleaning up pans, and dishes, discard wet and dry biodegradables and non-biodegradables into small separate bins on top of the counter. Empty these receptacles and discard them 3 times a day because we eat 3 times a day, so naturally, every time we wash the dishes, you will have this garbage. It's always easier to handle small pieces of garbage bags than small ones. So biodegradables go into compost bins you can easily make when they have decomposed into your much needed fertile soil. You can use them for your houseplants. So have a separate bin outside the home. Take note that the wilted leaves in your plants that you remove are best cut up and placed on the soil where the plants are growing, as these leaves are packed with nutrients beneficial to the plants. Likewise, place 2 small trash bins in your bedrooms and bathrooms. Discard them the way you would your biodegradables and non-biodegradables twice a day if possible. If you see no opportunity in recycling your waste, then bring them to the garbage room on the floor of your condominium unit, for example, each day. For those whose homes are blessed with on land, it makes good sense to make your own garbage room where everything is segregated. Have as many bins as possible to separate plastics, tin cans, other metals, paper, cardboard, and so on. Have a lavatory in the garbage room. The idea is for us to be able to manage our waste as a daily routine. So providing a permanent space for them, just like we have in our kitchens and our bedrooms, allows us to incorporate this into our daily routine. Next slide, please. So here are ideas to manage your non-biodegradables. Next slide, please. The photo on the left shows the most common garbage we see in our homes these days. It makes good sense to sell your waste to recyclers. There is money in this and can be easily applied to grocery budgets, like I do. Junk shops accept cardboard, plastic, metals. Likewise, you can also call your local DENR, the Department of Natural Resources, the EMB office, the Environment Management Bureau. You can call them and ask for a list of contact details, telephone numbers, websites of recyclers, and convert your trash to cash. There's many around Cebu. Separate your electronics trash. There are special buyers for these who have good rates, and they also do trade-ins. You can ask around electronic shops for more information. Also, you can look up www.goingzerowaste.com for more information on how you can maximize the benefits for your electronic waste. Throw your trash as oftentimes daily into the garbage room of your floor for easily handling. Big plastic trash bags often meet accidents while transporting them, so it's better to use the small ones. Next slide, please. So let's go into sustainable interior furnishings. Last but not the least, in the list of things to do in our green lifestyles is to use local products. Bamboo has always been close to my heart. And growing up as a child, I used to carve toys out of bamboo. So bamboo is abundant, versatile, and easily replaceable. The same goes for coconut materials too. Using home decors and furnishings using local materials ensures our local folks craft industry, keeps the economy going. Patronizing local products surely is a very powerful tool in making people's lives better, thus ensuring their survival. And what better definition of sustainability this certainly is. Next slide, please. So thank you very much, fellow viewers. This wraps up our talk for today on green lifestyle design. I hope that you're inspired by the learnings and you will apply them right away in your daily routine. So on behalf of the team on health and wellness, we wish to thank you for viewing this talk as part of our advocacy for better and happier lives. We wish everyone a good afternoon. And remember, stay safe, stay home, stay green. Bye.